So, who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, my name is Arfan Akram. I am very lucky and fortunate. I work in cricket. The day job is with Essex County Cricket Club. The role itself overlaps between our professional teams, so supporting both our men's and women's professional teams, and our community department, overseeing strategically our work in East London, which is our sort of diverse communities element. And then I'm very fortunate in the summer I get seconded to work with touring teams. So for the last 6 years I've worked with the likes of Pakistan, Australia, Sri Lanka, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Ottawa, helping them ensure that they have a good time in the UK, the tour runs as smooth as possible, and ensure that any issues are resolved. So really fortunate. And then got a few sort of non-exec roles, including on the main committee as well as the cricket committee at the MCC at Lords, and very humbly and luckily been a trustee at Arundel Castle Cricket Foundation for the last 12 years.
So that's a lot of breadth in terms of your involvement in cricket. And here we are today at the Arundel Castle Cricket Ground. And I'd like to know when you first came here as a young boy, and what were your memories of your first trip here?
Yeah, I actually remember it fondly. Got dropped off at Leighton County Ground at 6:30.
How old were you?
I would have been 10.
Living
Living in Walthamstow in East London, and got dropped off at Leighton. Got selected for a residential, 3-day residential, and genuinely was over the moon. It was with Capital Kids Cricket at the time, and didn't quite know what it was about. I remember my mum being very anxious and nervous. I'm a twin, so it was both me and my brother coming. She was absolutely adamant we didn't come, but equally I think my dad, the moment he heard Arundel Castle Cricket Foundation, or the cricket ground I should say, from its historic references so many touring teams and being a cricket fanatic, he was all over it. Didn't quite understand what orienteering and visiting Brighton Beach and whatever, but he knew this iconic magical place. And then the journey up, it was with obviously friends who I knew from school. Most, if not all of us, actually didn't have passports. We were very much around, never travelled, so it was a brand new cultural experience. Those that were lucky, perhaps me and my brother and one other, we played club cricket for our local cricket club, so we've seen around Essex and East London, we've seen other cricket grounds, but we weren't well travelled, so it's probably our first longest journey. I remember going past the valley, and all of us were energetic and enthusiastic, and all of a sudden this silence. And as we saw this wonderful view, and the legend himself, Dale Stewart, he was taking the group alongside other colleagues, just allowing us to take that moment in was special. And then we got into the castle entrance, and again silence. It was just remarkable, and we get through. Very curious, very anxious as well, because what the hell is kind of going on here? We get through the gate, we do the big U-turn in, and we come through that road behind us. And I remember opening the doors and we walked out. And the only thing I can compare it to is the first time ever you could actually dream, and the dream world that you imagined never existed, possibly in Hollywood, was right there, right in front of you, staring you in the face. And that was it. That was the first experience. And I know we speak now a lot about magical moments, but it definitely was for me and my mates. And most of that group that come, I'm still friends with.
Fantastic. So looking further ahead then, you're a 10-year-old boy then now, let's just say a bit older now. How do you feel your trip to Arundel has shaped you in terms of who you've become today and what you've managed to achieve?
I think opportunities. I think the first word I look at, when you come from an area where I came from, and at the time it was a higher area of deprivation, huge diversity, but actually you weren't necessarily given mentors. There's a friend of mine, he says, it's the card you're dealt, whatever he says. So getting out of that ruthless cycle where people are only empowered and inspired by their own parents, and whatever their job was kind of their pathway to life. And most of them, unfortunately, had low socioeconomic jobs-based career. And that experience for the first time coming to Arundel enabled me to dream and see of a world beyond. And I don't think that it is beyond the sort of realm of madness to say that it enabled me to actually have those initial transferable skills that I was developing as a young kid to go on and utilise in current life in helping me develop a career in cricket. It enabled me to develop communication skills. It enabled me to engage with diverse communities I've never met. In our first visit, we were really, really fortunate. Former England captain Michael Atherton, who also became a trustee, actually did a visit. So we were able to meet our heroes, people who were genuinely distant away, country miles away from our beliefs. And it enabled the brain to be able to be creative and innovative in a safe space. I think the key for me was the enrichment bit. It was the first time we stayed away from home from mum and dad, and that safety net. Everything was done: food, clothing, washing. You know, there was a if you like, a family-driven, disciplined process. Whereas coming here, you were learning so many skills. You know, a campsite. I never thought trying to put a campsite. I did fail. It was my other colleagues that actually helped me through that. But hey, it was new ideas, it was new skill sets. It was, as I said earlier, I was dreaming of a world I never thought existed, but actually I was part of that world. And if I roll forward now, I'm working in cricket, very fortunate to have an incredible career and a job. Those early innovations of making me believe in myself and the skills that I developed, and actually, I felt I was very, very safe and comfortable, and I belonged in this space. I think that those are the things that stuck up. If I were to reflect, some years later now, they were really, really key for me.
Oh, Arfan, that's fantastic to hear, and it's a fantastic endorsement of the programme that we offer here, and we feel very fortunate now to have the benefit of you as a long-standing trustee, and long may that continue. So thank you very much.
And thank you, Tim. Thank you for having me.